What are you good at, but hate doing? Graphic design. Every bloody person comes out of the woodwork for invitation design. Weddings, engagement parties, baby showers, birthdays. The worst part is, friends make the worst clients apostrophes because I would never charge them. I love it. But can you make it a bit more peppy? What do you mean by peppy, Susan? Font, color? I don't know what you don't like if you can't tell me. I heard you do graphic design, can you make me a logo? An album cover? Leaflets? Flyers? Cards? Shirts? Oh man, you took 4 weeks to put this all together? I thought you'd do it in like a night or something. Will $50 work? My cousin downloaded Photoshop and he doesn't charge me. Why does the color matter? I don't care about the font. I stepped away last year after a major opportunity with a major company tried having me design a logo without agreeing on a cost or timeframe. Now I just use Procreate to illustrate whatever dumb nonsense I want, whenever I want. Greater than I don't care about the font. Comic Sans it is. Nah, do wingdings. Working as a programmer. I'm good at it, it's lucrative, but after 15 years I'm so tired of it. I just want to make enough money so I can do something else. Learning to program in C#, I hope I don't get burnout from one of my favorite things. I think it depends what you are making. If you are programming in a big team and have no say over anything, for me I would burn right out. But working on my own smaller projects within a business makes me feel really fulfilled, even if all I made was some minor efficiency. You nailed it, man. If you force people to work a certain way or on a certain something, they'll never be motivated unless they're into that kind of stuff, but very few are. Thing with programming is an awful lot of it is constrained once it's in a real-world setting. While most places will assist you at doing work that you'd enjoy, an awful lot of it is problem-solving, patching that needs to be done. If everything is started from scratch, nothing gets done. Your mindset is still great though, just don't go too hard at it in the programming world. Source: am a programmer and have several unfinished projects. Proper team management knows what tasks to assign to who. For instance, I work on a security product, which involves back-end, front-end, automation, support, CI/CD, cloud infrastructure and a bunch of other categories. I made it very clear both before and after I was hired that I'm not interested in front-end, but that I'll do it if it's necessary, since I'm a full-stack SE. The product owner, however, realized that automation is where I am great at and what gets me going, so he assigns all the automation tasks in our backlog to me. Someone else was good in front-end, and thus he gets the front-end components, etc. Imagine if he didn't give a fuck and just handed random stories to everyone. We would have mediocre results and we'd be burned out in a few months. Sales. I've been in retail for the better part of my adult life. I'm pretty decent, can get customers to where they need to be, and just overall make sure someone is happy with their purchases. I just wish I was doing anything else. I just don't know what else I can go and do. I don't have any degrees, and need money to live, so I just keep plodding along at the safe, comfortable job. Dude. Same. I can talk to and bullshit with anyone. I was selling stuff I loved, and it was fun, and I was broke. But then that progressed into a more lucrative career, and selling became more aggressive. I hated myself for feeling like I was taking advantage of the clients. But being on commission, you virtually had to if you wanted to pay your mortgage that month. I was praised for it, and told that the sky was the ceiling. I got out. I couldn't stand being so scummy, convincing people to lock themselves into shitty contracts for products that don't apply to their situation. I'm in software sales and it is soul-sucking. I hate working with people, and I hate irrational buyers, but what I hate most are other salespeople. The thought leaders on LinkedIn shit, posting their motivational self-serving bullshit. The snake oil salesman pitching their book that will change your organization. The pseudo-intellectual managers that read and digest this snake oil and think they've reached enlightenment through it somehow. Sales is the epitome of America. First in self-confidence, 32nd in math. Public speaking. I always get told how calm and collected I am, that I am clear and good at making it interesting, easygoing and interactive. Inside I am screaming, feel like I am going to puke, panicked, absolutely sure I have a giant stain on my shirt or booger hanging out, adrenaline rushing that makes me feel like I am going to collapse the second I am off stage. I hate it. So I get selected almost every time because, you're so good at it, I would be a total mess up there, I don't know you do it. Me either Janet, me either. Backstroke. I'm apparently fast at it, but it's still nasal destruction. Customer support. Fuck me. Greater than fuck me. So you are a prostitute? Probably would fuck. Yeah. Mediating between people who can't get along. It is so fucking annoying and I hata it, turns I get stuck doing it all the time at work. Just thinking about it is stressing me out. Would being paid shitload of money make you feel better? Because I know a few companies that have offices full of bickering mid-level micromanagers who could use some mediation. Can confirm. I spent the last 2 years doing exactly this, mediating slapfights among the office team to try to get the work done as a group director. That's pretty much all I did, and I was paid extremely well into six figures because I was pretty successful at it. I was ostensibly hired for my expertise in another area, but it really came down to glorified office counselor. And they were happy with that, because they needed it, and they paid me for it. And the perks were insane. The job definitely exists. Edit, for those reading this that are like, I could do that, how do I get into that? The truth is you really don't. There's no such thing as a professional office mediator position that you can find on LinkedIn and apply for off the street. See for yourself, https://www.linkedin.com/jobs/search/?keywords equals professional %20 office %20 mediator closing parenthesis. You, Palagor correctly stated elsewhere that you basically have to start in program management. Then you move up to a GM or director position, then group director, then VP. Each successive role manages each other one down the chain. Long story short, the kind of job I describe above is not one you find, it's one you find yourself in. I am listening. Professional mediators charge as much as $10,000 per day of mediation, and the certification to become one is a 40-hour class. They may have recently changed the law though, you might have to be an attorney now. I'm not 100% sure. Edit, it's not as easy as taking the class and making that kind of cash. For example, I'm a certified mediator and have certs in advanced family, domestic violence, and CPS mediation training as well as arbitration training. Yet I've never made any money from it, for me it's just something for the resume. Additionally, people don't typically hire you to be a counselor with the end goal that the two people will get along after the mediation. It's usually to get some sort of deal moving that has come to a standstill because both parties refuse to negotiate, for example splitting up assets in a divorce. For that reason there's a lot of legal procedures that you can't really learn in a 40-hour class, but you will certainly need to know if you're considering being a full-time mediator. Just felt like I needed to elaborate on that a bit. Firing people. I've had to terminate people in multiple jobs, usually when I'm the new person brought in to turn things around. The last time I had to tell someone, the HR VP who was in the room as well told me, "Wow, you are really good at this. We should have you do a video training on how to let people go. By the way, if you have to fire someone aside from a really bad reason like theft etc., get them a severance, don't fight their unemployment claim, and cover their healthcare for a few months. Not every person works out for a job and these things make landing in their feet much easier." I got laid off from my last job. Bad situation, bad management, but I was given a decent severance. Despite my best efforts, I didn't line a job up before my severance ended, so I signed up for unemployment. That company then had the gall to tell the unemployment office I'd been fired. I was floored. The company couldn't prove there was reason to fire me, though, so I got the unemployment. I don't understand how people think that's no big deal. If someone in the company lied to a government office to save some dollar, what else are they lying about? Respect goes a long, long ways. I think most people understand that layoffs and letting people go are necessary things, but it should be done in a thoughtful and respectful way. Kudos to you for showing respect the people you had to let go. Lying. Do you know you're good at it? If so, how? I'd think that when it comes to lying, that hating it would also make you bad at it? I think you can get a feel if you are being convincing or not. Also, it is a good thought experiment if you have quick thinking and doesn't put any holes in your story. Making it simple. Or even, try to come up with a more believable and elaborated story, but with more time to prepare. I like as a thought experiment, but not the idea of doing. You are also examining what you can really know as a fact and what was just told you, and rely on the fact that many times when it is not a big deal people just won't really care. Guess is something you can naturally do but has some moral questions afterwards that bugs you. It happens to me sometimes, if lying was really the right choice to do. I wouldn't say I do this often or I'm really good, but sometimes I do. Your reply is much more realistic and coherent than the one I just replied to. I'm adept at changing subjects, and I know people don't care. But authenticity matters, and I do try and make my values match my actions. I fail sometimes. We all do, there is no shame in shamefully missing the mark. Fixing computers. Sad part is I do this for a living. I love everything about computers, networking, etc. But when I get a phone call from an inept user who makes triple my salary, or an older relative calls for computer help, the eye rolls ensue and the thoughts of hanging up kick in. Same, even worse as neighbors and family members. When I get home from a day of work, plump myself on the couch to watch some Netflix and there is my old neighbor at the door. Asking me to help him. I'll do it, because he is old but still. Grr. There's nothing wrong with triple salary as such. It when it is I'm the insert acronym and I demand it be fixed, that you drop everything, now. Writing. I was told by a fairly strict English professor that I should become an English professor because of my essays and I didn't have the heart to tell him that I just sincerely despise writing. This is the main reason I stopped writing. You can tell me how good I am over and over and over, but when the act of writing is akin to ramming your head into a wall repeatedly until the words fall out, I think I'd rather find something else to do. This is me. I have been told by multiple teachers that I am an excellent writer, and yes, I am proud of my work once it's done, but it takes so much out of me to really create something good. I am incapable of half-assing a paper, I fawn over every word, and cannot leave anything be until it is perfect. The end result probably looks like it just flowed out of me, but it didn't. I probably spent all night on the first paragraph alone. So, yes, I am good at it, but that does not mean that I could make a career out of it while maintaining my sanity. I program computers now. Much cleaner, logical, and to the point, although I do still occasionally catch myself worrying more about elegant form than function to a detrimental degree, but it is far less of an issue than with writing in English. Talking to people. 26 years in retail. I could win an Oscar for the amount of believable lies I tell customers. You are the face of the company. You're always supposed to be smiling, happy, and able to carry on a single-serving conversation with anyone you meet. Off the clock, and when I was single, I was very content going days without any talking or interaction. I kinda learned to be two different people, sometimes more depending on my life at the time. I'm tired of acting. Socializing. Everyone thinks I am so outgoing and friendly, but in reality, it wears me down mentally and physically to the point I start drinking alcohol just to be able to keep up the charade. It's exhausting and I hate it, but I have to fake it to make a living. Same. I started working remotely for this reason and I have way more energy now. My home office is very peaceful and productive. Tolerating irrational behavior. So then to sum it up. Parenting. Or dealing with insane parents. Dealing with humans in general.